for another video. Hope you liked my interview last week with Faz. So can you please tune in to BT Sport tomorrow night, because I'm going to be on BT Sport. And this week's interview is with Big Franco Boy. You've played 189 games with Schnorr so far. What's your highlights?
Hi everyone. First of all, I'd just like to say I hope everyone's staying safe during this time. Hopefully your families are well, and hopefully we can get back to playing football sometime soon. The highlight for me at Stranraer when I played was certainly the season where we went unbeaten. I think it was something like 22 games or something, 23 games. That included a 1-1 draw away to Rangers. It included a 6-3 defeat at Somerset Park of Ayr, and it also included 5-1 against Dunfermline at Stair Park. For a club like Stranraer at that time, to go that amount of games unbeaten was incredible. And it just showed that the strength that the team had together, and how we were as a unit. And it was one of those seasons where we felt like we could take on anybody. I'm sure that was the same season that we beat Ross County as well, and teams like Falkirk and stuff like that. So to be in a team like that, and I think we finished third that season, behind Rangers and Dunfermline. But to do that, as I said, at a club like Stranraer, with the funds and the money that we had to pull together a team, just showed the belief that we had. So yeah, that was definitely my highlight, and it was incredible to play in that team. It was just a kind of feeling of we'll win, we can take on anybody. So that was my highlight.
Do you miss playing football?
Strangely enough, I'm not really missing playing football. The odd time that comes out, when I fancy getting involved in a wee passing drill or a wee possession drill at training. But unfortunately, the injury that I had to retire with doesn't allow me to do that very often. So strangely enough, I'm not really missing it. I felt like towards the end of my career, I was doing everything I can, over and above, going to physios, extra sessions, gym, swimming, all in an effort to try and get over an injury. And I just felt at that time it was just not happening. And I'd never really suffered for injuries in my career. However, to get to that stage where you just feel like you're never going to get through this was quite difficult. So to come through that, and obviously having retired now, I don't miss it. And I'm lucky enough to be in a coaching job, where I still get the banter, I still get the dressing room atmosphere and things like that. So I really enjoy that. And I think if I didn't have that, that would be certainly the biggest thing that I would miss.
Do you think you'll play again after your injury with Morton?
At no point did I ever think that I was never going to play football again. I always had this positive mentality where, I'm going to get through this, and I always take my hat off to people who have came through an injury like that, because I know how difficult it is, and it certainly made me mentally stronger. made me appreciate things more. And my hat goes off to people who've done it once, but certainly done it twice. You know, people like Grant Gallagher and Darren McGregor, who have done it twice. So these guys are, you know, of a special kind of makeup. So I always knew I was going to play again. I always set my targets, and I always had goals in my head. And every single day, when I was in at Morton, I just made sure that I carried myself in the correct manner, did what I had to do, and made sure that my rehab went as best as possible. And thankfully to this day I've not really had any issues with my knee. But no, I always knew that I was going to play again sometime.
What did it feel like to play again?
To play again, I'm not going to lie, the first game you play, you're quite anxious, you're quite nervous. There's absolutely no denying that. You know, it takes you a good while in terms of training sessions to get up to speed and to really feel comfortable. And there's absolutely no denying the first game you play, you're a little bit nervous. However, the first competitive game I played was actually away to Annan in the Cup. And I scored. I think we won 2-1, and I got man of the match as well. So I think everybody was just feeling sorry for me just because I came back from injury. But no, I remember that game, and funnily enough, during this virus, I was cleaning out the garage, and I found my wee kind of man of the match trophy, and it brought back some good memories. So really good to get back on the pitch. Definitely after a period of being out. And as I said previously, I appreciated playing more, certainly after an injury like that.
What made you get into coaching?
I've always wanted to get into coaching. I've always felt like it would be something that I would enjoy, even as a young kid. Being a coach was always something I was interested in, and you know what went on behind the scenes in terms of a management team, in terms of coaching, all of these things that I knew went on behind the scenes, and I always appreciated what a manager and a coach did for me as a player. So I've always wanted to do something like that, and actually when I first left school, my first job was actually at St Mirren. And what I did was I combined full-time training, so I was in like kind of half a week at St Mirren, full-time training, as well as coaching. And at that point I was working under a head of youth development, a man called Davy Longwell, who went on to kind of produce a lot of young players for St Mirren who played in their first team. So I was actually a coach at 16, and did my children's licence and things like that to be able to coach kids at that age. So it's always been in the back of my head, in the back of my mind, and something that I've always wanted to do. And certainly when I got the phone call in the summer there, from the gaffer, and he asked me what I was doing with football, it was something that I was never going to give up, particularly coming back to Stranraer. So it was something I've always wanted to do, and I've really enjoyed it.
Who is the best player you've played with and why?
For me, the best player I played with was probably when I was really young, and I had a brief spell at Rangers, and it was Ross McCormick. He would score goals every single week, training, games, it was incredible, and his appetite for the game was unbelievable. So he's probably the one that's went on to make a real name for himself in the game. However, getting older, I need to mention Steph Stirling, who is unbelievable, what he did for Stranraer when he came to us, and the things he'd do in training. But I've got to go for Ian Flanagan. Ian Flanagan at Alloa is a guy who should have played at a real high level. Absolute nightmare to play against in training. Used to avoid him. His feet were unbelievable. Two good feet. Great delivery. Would pop up with goals. His vision was incredible. His range of passing was unbelievable. And he could pick a pass from anywhere. And as I said, he never ever gave the ball away. So as good a footballer as he was a guy, top guy, really well liked in the dressing room, and so for me it would be Ian Flanagan at Alloa.
Who's the best player to play against and why?
For me, the best player I played against was probably Aidan McGeady. Aidan was unbelievable. We were born the same year, so growing up we played against each other fairly regular. I was at St Mirren as a kid, and we would play against Celtic, and every time we played against them, we were frightened of what Aidan would do. He used to do this one trick every single game, and you just knew he was going to do it. However, you just couldn't stop it. It was unbelievable. He went on to play, I think, nearly 200 times for Celtic. And anybody who does that is obviously got something. And then obviously he went to Russia. I think they paid about £10 million for him. So somebody coming from Scotland, a Scottish boy, at that time to go for that sort of money tells you kind of the ability he had. And then obviously he ended up at Everton, and that was the season that Everton finished 5th as well. So to show to be in a team like that and have the career that he did tells you everything you need to know about Aidan McGeady and how good he was. So for me it was certainly him.
What's your ambition for the future?
For me, my ambition for the future was actually to try and catch Forfar and Peterhead, which I genuinely believe we would have done that. However, the SPFL vote has went against us, unfortunately, and took that opportunity away from us. I genuinely believe since January we were a different animal, and I think that showed in our performances against more recently the top kind of 3 or 4 clubs in the league, and the 6 games at home out the 9 that we had left. We also had 2 against Peterhead and 1 against Forfar, as well as a game in hand on them. So I genuinely believe that we would have caught the teams above us, and that would have been my ambition, and unfortunately that's been taken away from us. However, I do believe that possible reconstruction is on the way, and just next year I would really like to improve on our league position and become part of a successful coaching team who bring some good times and good memories back to Stair Park.
Who was your idol growing up?
For me, my idol growing up was certainly someone like Ali McCoist or Paul Gascoigne. I loved these players as I'm a Rangers fan, and I loved watching these guys and the ability they had and what they did as footballers. However, outside of that, at the time, Steven Gerrard was dragging people through games for Liverpool, winning games single-handedly, had that determination, that passion, and the unbelievable footballing ability, who could do anything. So it was probably Steven Gerrard at the time who, outside Rangers, was my footballing hero. That night that they won the Champions League in Istanbul is still a video I watch to this day. I think it's on YouTube somewhere. I find it and I watch it and I see how they're 3-0 down at half time, and just for me, someone to drag their team through being 3-0 down against a top AC Milan side, and to bring them back from defeat to go and win that is just unbelievable. For me, it just tells you everything about the man. And obviously, when he became the manager of the Rangers, I was pretty happy about that. But probably Steven Gerrard for me, just because the type of character and the ability he had as a football player.
What person would you most like to meet and why?
As a kid growing up, I always wanted to meet Muhammad Ali for some reason. I just thought what he did for his sport, he was the greatest, and I always wanted to meet him, just because of his obviously sporting ability. However, I'm an avid golfer, and for me the greatest ever is Tiger Woods, and to meet him and find out how he kept himself at the top of his game for so long, against possibly the best field of golfers that's ever been. Nowadays 10 golfers, 20 golfers can win championships, and Tiger just steamrolled these people out of the way. And then to come back from a bad injury, such a bad injury where he was struggling to walk, he couldn't even walk at one point, and then to come back and win the Masters, and how he did it and the way he did it and stuff like that was just incredible. So yeah, probably Tiger Woods for me.
Here it comes. Oh my goodness.
Who's the most famous person in your phone book?
Not really sure how to answer this one. Probably, I don't know, Barry Ferguson, I think, possibly, or Robert Snodgrass. Snoddy because he's a mate, and Barry Ferguson because he tried to sign me a couple of times, or Jinky Hilton. Everybody knows who Jinky Hilton is in Stranraer, and he's a Stranraer legend in the making. So I'll go for Jinky Hilton.
What's the funniest thing you've seen in training or a game?
One of the funniest things I seen was Sean Winter's celebration when we beat Dumbarton 3-2 a few years ago. He was told by his partner Jennifer to be up the road early, and the game was sitting at 2 each, and it looked like it was going to go into extra time. And Sean popped up in the last 5 minutes to score this unbelievable overhead kick and was running about the pitch celebrating like a madman, because he knew he wasn't going to get into trouble off of Jennifer, because he was going to be up the road early. And the other one that I've just heard recently, I wasn't there, but I've heard of the story, is a good mate of mine, Stephen Miller, who was at Raith Rovers at the time, and the manager and assistant manager were both players and assistant and manager. So both of them were on the pitch at one point, and this boy went down injured. And my mate Stephen Miller, he doesn't get called shyness or nothing. He was on the bench at the time, and he's jumped up, got himself ready, and walked up to the linesman and subbed himself on while the physio's over treating this player, and the assistant manager says to the manager, did you make that sub? And he said no. He says, I thought you made it. So somebody subbing themselves on onto the pitch is definitely up there. So that's got to be one of the funniest things I've heard in football.
My dad says you're always on the look for freebies. What's the best freebie you've got?
I had a laugh when I seen this question. Nothing beats a favour getting posted in social media and somebody popping up with the answer, or knows somebody who knows somebody. Probably the best freebie I've ever had was the time my mate phoned me and said, what are you doing at the end of May after the football season's finished? And I said, well, nothing really, obviously nothing really planned, holidays not till later on. And he said, I've just won a golf tournament, and I have to take somebody with me, and we're going to Turkey for 7 days, all inclusive, all expenses paid, 4 rounds of golf. Do you fancy it? So I was like, yep. So that's probably the best freebie I've ever had, golfing with the boys. Free drink, free food, free flights. I don't think I spent a penny that holiday, so that was down to my mate Stuart. So thanks for that, Stuart.
Thanks for this week's interview, Frank. Everybody, please remember to like and subscribe. We'll be with you for another video. Bye.